What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live screen. Hope all is well. Today, we're going to be covering the best way to generate leads. Tomorrow, we have a free lead generation masterclass, workshop, webinar, whatever you want to call it. And we want you there at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's free to sign up. We're going to be covering all the different ways you can be generating leads in real detailed form. So just do me a favor. Let me know you guys are watching from so I can have a good idea what you guys watching from. Also, we running a special for the weekend, so starting today up until Monday, you can get you some leads. They're back on sale. If you need some leads, these leads are highly effective. People are generating leads for me. People are getting deals on the contract. So I definitely recommend you get the leads. They're very fair and favorable. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? I see everybody on. Let me know if you have any questions. Do me a favor and start putting your questions in the chats now. I got about a good 1 hour to work with you guys. So start putting your information in the chats now. If you have any questions, if you're stuck on something, if you know what's going on, if you're confused, just let me know so we can figure out a way to help you. So I'm going to put a link up. I'm going to put a couple of links up today. Let's go. So if you want the leads, go to co929.com/lead sale. We'll hook you up with the leads. Go in there, check out the pricing. Once you pay, we'll prompt you to a form to answer any questions that we may need to get you your leads. Remember, first come, first serve. We get you your leads back in the order that they was received. So don't be waiting to the last day talking about yeah, where my leads at? And then you signed up the last day and you think you're supposed to get it right back on the spot. No. First come, first serve. So, what's the best way to generate hot leads, right? That's what a lot of people ask me all the time. Shout out to CMM Properties from South Carolina. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to my guy Paul. He's looking to connect with anybody in the Ohio area, Columbia, Akron. Get at him. I guess he's trying to do some JV stuff with you guys. Shout out to Versatile from Richmond, Virginia. Shout out to my New Orleans family, Mike Buy Houses. Shout out to my Canada family, and I hope all is well today. Jermaine, shout out to you. And yeah, let's get to it, man. Shout out to everybody today. It's Thursday. It's kind of wet outside, so when it's raining and wet outside, I'm not gonna say motivated. I always keep myself motivated, but rainy day is not my thing. If I can sleep in and relax or just do paperwork instead of being on the phone with people, I would much appreciate that versus dealing with that type of stuff. But anyway, give me 1 second while I sort through my notes that I had written down from earlier so we can knock this stuff out. So I honestly say, and I know this repetitive, the best way to generate leads is no secret, guys. Is what we've been doing for the last 4 to 5 years. It's cold calling and SMS marketing. SMS can be very expensive, but that's why we created software called Prospect Vault. You can send out text messages for less than 1 cent each. It's easy to use, and all of our VAs come pre-trained on it. So if you want to do consistent leads, I definitely say make it a blend of cold call and SMS. Don't just put all your lead generation into one strategy, because then you don't see the fluctuations of quality leads coming in. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you got a well-defined target market and understanding the pain points for them type of leads. So what I mean is, if I'm launching a new campaign, I might target Central Georgia, right? All of the areas that's on the outskirts of Atlanta, that's within a 45 minutes to an hour drive. And then I will be pulling my list based on pain points. Maybe I want to target tax delinquents. Maybe I want to target pre-foreclosures. Maybe I want to target high equities with vacants. And then I will put my VAs on a campaign to let them know that you should be cold calling this list and text messaging this list, and then rotate the list and then turn around and change out my phone number. So that's the biggest thing I think most clients are not doing They're not changing out their phone numbers, and they're not working on the framework to the cold calling script, right? The hey, do you want to sell your house script is dead. We got a perfect script that we've been perfecting for the last 8 months that's highly effective, that we've been using to generate some of the most quality leads you can get your hands on. If you want to know more about that script, you should start joining our paid programs so we can teach you that in detail. You can come on our paid trainings and get into details about that type of stuff, right? If you don't have a compelling script and you don't know how to effectively communicate value, you're going to struggle, especially when your prospects are addressing their concerns, right? So if they have an issue or concern and you can't answer that or articulate that really appropriately, you're going to lose the prospect. Example: a traditional script may say, "Hey, you live at 123 Main Street. You want to sell your house?" Um, a person may say, "Okay, what you offering me?" And right then and there, you guys are not teaching your VAs, or you not yourself don't know what to say after that. Well, let me just ask you a few questions and I see what I can come up with. That's not satisfactory. That's not good enough. Because one thing I had to understand when it comes to sales is it's all in here. The psychology of the brain and how it operate and how it handles problems and then tells the body what to do and react to the problems that it's processing. So if you don't know how to navigate around the brain's triggers and these trigger words like sell, contract, all of these different trigger words that make the brain say no, you're going to struggle with generating leads consistently because you don't know what it takes for someone to say, "Oh yeah, I'm interested in something," right? And then, that stuff needs practice. So you can't just expect to just start calling in 1 or 2 days and have your script 100% down pat. You have to make hundreds of thousands of calls with your team so they can be comfortable and master this. Cold calling is mastery, right? When you're cold calling, that's a really the skill that you need in order to be an effective lead generation, right? So if you're cold calling and you're not mastering cold calling, what do I mean by mastering? You're doing it so well that you're not reading off a script. You're doing it so well that you know what you need to accomplish on the phone to get the prospect to the next level of what they're trying to accomplish. You're doing it so well that you don't need to think about it. It just comes naturally to you, right? Example, I keep using this. Tying your shoe. Tying your shoes is a mastery. You learn when you was a kid, maybe 2 to 7 years old. You learn how to tie your shoe. Now you can bend over, tie your shoe, and don't even think of, do I, put the bunny ears and cross it. You don't think of none of that. You just do it and move on. So that's what you got to do when it comes to cold calling and lead generation, is make sure that you're doing things to the point that you are mastering it and you're mastering the skills, right? Not just surface level stuff. Grab a script off of here, YouTube, grab a script off Facebook, and then call someone, and then put it beside your computer monitor and just read off it and hope and pray that you get deals and leads. That's not the way to do things anymore, guys. You got to really have a good sales flow and a good sales prospect if you want to get people's attention and then get them to say yes and do business with you. That being said, I think some of you guys should work on that a lot more. Some of you guys should relook and evaluate your script to take out a lot of fluffy stuff like the bedrooms and baths. I wouldn't make that too much of a concern just yet, right? Because you can look at PropStream, you can look at Redfin and Zillow to determine and figure out what the bedrooms and the baths is on the property. So I wouldn't, focus on that too much. I would focus on building while I'm on the phone with that prospect for the next 90 seconds to 4 to 5 minutes. I want to build rapport with them so they can know, like, and trust me. What I mean by that is ask them how their day going. Today's Thursday. Ask them, do they like it when it rains like this today? Ask them what they got planned for the weekend. Ask them what they're cooking tonight for dinner. Ask them what they're doing once they get off from work. Ask them, what they got planned, going into the, February for, Valentine's Day. Figure out a way to connect with people in a way that you can put the business separate and make it personable, right? And when you do that, you are able to connect with more people, and then you are able to navigate them and push them into a way where you want them to be, versus a person saying not interested, hang up. Why are you getting a lot of not interested and hang ups? It's because you are not interested. When you're calling them, you sound like a robot. You sound like a person that's desperate. You sound like a person that don't know or understand what they're doing. And when you do these type of things, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So the easy thing you can do as you want to generate hot leads is call people as if you know them. People do business with who they know, like, and trust. Guys, write that down in the comments for me so I know you're paying attention. People do business with who they know, like, and trust, right? So it can make sense to sell their house to you. Your offer makes sense, but if they don't know you, like you, or trust you, none of that matters. So that's what you got to understand, that it's a personable thing. How many times do you text and call lists? As many times as necessary. The thing with you guys is you don't understand is you got to look at the numbers. Don't worry about how many times it takes to text and call the list, because at the end of the day, your job is to consistently follow up. See, on the average list, it's only between 3 to 8% information changes in the 12-month time, which means that that list that you have is still up for grabs. The beautiful thing about here in America, you have a person who just say they're not interested, and then 2-3 months later, they're definitely motivated to have to sell because they went through some type of financial hardship. So don't ever give up on your list. Continue to rotate your list. Maybe slow it up. Maybe switch it up. Maybe switch up the times of days you're calling and texting. Maybe change the phone number. Maybe switch the cold caller on that list. Like, you have to mix it, you know. Sometimes you have to follow up people 20, 30 times before you get them on the phone, before they get them to say yes. You don't know. Your job is to stay on the phone. Don't worry about how many times you got to follow up. There we go. People do business who they know, like, and trust. I'm telling you. So when you're consistently following up with somebody, don't feel like you're bothering them. You're doing them a favor because you're trying to make sure that you're reaching out to them and catching them at the right place. Most of your deals, I guarantee you, 80% of your deals that you're ever going to do, if you're not already doing deals yet, it's going to involve a little luck. And then the second biggest thing is being at the right place at the right time. And how could you be at the right place at the right time? The only way to be at the right place in the right time to generate hot leads is to stay consistent. So if you miss 3 days of calling, like, this is what I see the habits that people are making. They'll call for 2 days straight, go 3 days and bullshit. And then, oh yeah, I'm gonna call again next week, call for 2 days straight, bullshit for 4 days, call for 1 day straight, bullshit for 3 days, then call for 3 days straight. And they scratching their head like, yo, why is this not working? Why am I not seeing the maximum results that I deserve to see? And the question is, ask yourself, do you really deserve to see that when you're giving minimum effort? How could you expect maximum results with minimum effort? Somebody answer that for me. How could you expect maximum results with minimum effort? So what you got to do in your business is give maximum effort for maximum results, right? They say practice makes perfect, right? Perfect practice makes perfect, which means that you got to show up and do it over and over again till you master it. You got to show up and hit them phones over and over again until you master it. You got to call every day. You got to text every day. You got to follow up every day. You got to pay attention and be attention to details. Then when you get your warm and your hot leads, you got to follow with them and build rapport with them until they're ready to move forward with you. That's all this is. It's a follow-up game that you're playing. Now, sometimes you may get a deal on the first call, second call, but that's not typical, if you really want me to be honest with you guys. So how can you generate consistent hot leads? You got to stay consistent. That's the secret sauce. There's no magic formula. There's no magic software. There's no perfect VA. It's about you staying consistent with your operation, making sure you hit your KPIs, and making sure you understand what your purpose is and who you serve as customers. So if you're calling a pre-foreclosure list, you need to understand that these people are going through some type of financial ruin or some type of financial hardship, and you shouldn't be so transactional. You shouldn't be transactional anyway, honestly. You should be personable, if anything. But we teach that in a different training. I'm not going to get into that today. But the point is, you shouldn't be so transactional. That's the biggest mistake that your VAs are making. You're teaching them to be transactional. You're teaching them to ask more questions that had nothing to do with the whole point of qualifying a prospect. You're teaching them these bad habits, and they don't even know that these bad habits. You got to get them good quality habits, right? If you're not personally training your VAs 2 to 4 hours a week and you have a VA, you're doing them a disservice. If you're not teaching them different things. Like we was teaching training the other day, and I kept hearing, people hanging up on me, people hanging up on me. These new VAs that came into our training, obviously. And I said, well, let me listen to your script. What you're asking them when you're calling. We did some role playing, and I said the the reason why you haven't achieved and accomplished the results is because the ability to perfect the script that matches and suits your personality. Right? People know when you're calling and you're working and you're following a script. They can feel and hit it. But when you're talking to somebody and it sounds like you're just having a regular conversation off the record and you're doing your job just enough to get the information from them, they trust you. The VA started to generate more leads. How could a campaign we just launched 2 days ago generate 9 leads? 9 leads in 2 days, 9 hot leads in 2 days. How is that possible? Because we took away the traditional thinking of what our VA was doing, put them through our proprietary training that we've been working on for the last few months and updated. And we personally trained these VAs, held their hands and showed them things that they need to know. And we said, this is the way you run your script. And literally the first 2 days, they're producing at the highest level possible. It wouldn't have been possible if they didn't know what to ask and when to ask these questions. It wouldn't be possible if they didn't have the confidence that they needed to maintain a conversation and then go into uncharted territories by talking off the script. It wouldn't be possible if I said, take that script and ball it up, and here's a script that fits your personality. We stopped teaching scripts, and we started teaching frameworks. That's what separates us from anybody out here that's teaching real estate right now. We don't even teach real estate because real estate is a fundamental skills. We teach implementation of proven strategies. That's what we teach. So for a lot of people, these guys are using these same generic scripts that's all floating around Facebook, on everybody's YouTube page, everybody's Facebook group, file section, and it's not effective. But once you understand the framework and making the framework fit your personality and what you do, and whether you're an introvert or whatever you are, it's going to work. So that's the one thing that you can generate hot leads is by changing your script, changing your framework, and understanding who the people you're talking to on the other end of the phone, and stop being so transactional. Now, if you got VAs and you're not working with them, then that's a problem within itself. Reach out to us. We can help you with the training of your VAs consistently for a low price of $97 a month, up until the end of the month when it goes up to $197. So I definitely recommend that you get signed up for that. Let your VAs come every Mondays and Wednesdays, 4 p.m. There's only 90 minutes, an hour to 90 minutes a day time. Sometimes we go to 2 hours, but typically good training shouldn't take hours and hours. Good training should be straight to the point and then increments. You shouldn't just breeze right through it because people don't digest it good. So good training maybe take you guys an hour. If you've been on my trainings, you know what I mean. They said that's true. I can tell someone is fake and reading from a script and not listening to me. Exactly. People want to be listened to. People want to be heard and felt. People want to be understood. When we go behind an inexperienced real estate wholesaler, or we go behind an inexperienced virtual assistant, the reason why we're able to take that deal across the finish line is because we make it personable. We make people feel loved, liked, and wanted. And we make people understand. We understand how they feel and where they're coming from. And we do that by teaching the framework. And if you're not teaching your team a framework, then you're already at a disadvantage. So that's the biggest thing I can tell you guys. And, so how can a one-man show compete with the big fish? A one-man show can compete with the big fish through the power of automation. So you don't have the bandwidth and the power to follow up with all of your leads by yourself. So you have to have automation and ringless voicemails and text messages and emails after you get leads into your pipelines, follow up with them. Then you have to time block. What's important? Because at the end of the day, you have to hit the 4 pillars consistently to make your real estate sufficiently. You have to do lead generation. You have to do acquisition. You have to do disposition. You have to do transaction coordinating. How can you do that all at the same time? So now you probably got a time block. Okay, in the mornings, I cold call. In the afternoons, I do my acquisition and underwriting. In the evenings, I send out my deals, and I deal with cash buyers, and I walk properties. And that's what you got to do. You know what I mean? The thing about a one-man show that you can compete with the big fish is staying consistent enough that one day the big fish is going to slip up and they're going to forget to follow up with a certain lead, and you're going to get that lead, and then eventually you can get that contract. So that's the biggest thing I can tell you is you got to do double the effort. You know what I mean? Until you decide that, hey, I can no longer be a one-man show. That's just going to take a revelation for you to come to the conclusion that I need to take these cold calling tasks and these admin tasks and accept the fact that I produce and make more than $4 an hour, so I need to put somebody in that position, even if that's putting me in a little bind. Not a crazy bind where you can't take care of yourself personally, but couldn't you do more with your time? Couldn't you do a whole lot more by going to Uber or DoorDash instead of cold calling, and let the actual cold callers cold call and give that attention, and you Uber and Dash for 2-3 hours so you have enough to pay the cold callers, keep your operation going, and then still focus on acquisitions? So you have to come up with that revelation. Until then, you're just going to be kicking the can down the road, and you're just going to be a one-man show doing deals here and there and struggling. So you got to make sure that you're okay with building a team. Real businesses have teams. There's not too many real businesses with like one person in there. And if that is, it's not a business. It's just a paid job. It's a job you own. It's a job that you control. And if that's something you want, then that's perfectly fine. No one's bashing no one about that. But I'm just here to tell you, if you want to create consistency in your life and you want to be able to go out of town for a couple of days and not have to worry about, damn, if I stop working, the business stop making money, then you want to start addressing that as soon as possible. So, figure out a way to not be a one-man show, come up with a game plan. It's easy to make that transition. I already told you what you can do. You literally, all you got to do is just do one thing. Just go make some extra money that can cover the $4 an hour you're spending on replacing yourself for the task that is still important to cold call, but you should be focused on acquisition costs. I would rather have you put your attention and your efforts into talking to people that actually want to sell than to be prospecting for people that you don't even know if they want to sell or not. Any more questions? So what else? Like I said, using a good and updated list of leads, which includes owners, occupied, non-occupied, whatever. So making sure you stay on top of your data. And the reason why we drop these little sales here and there for you guys, it's not because we're making money from it. I wish we would be making money from the amount of energy we got to put into doing this for you guys. The fact that you can, once, like Paul said, how could you compete with the big guys? But if I'm giving you big data like the big guys are getting, for like 1/10 of what their cost is, you're already competing, because you can scale and buy 50,000 leads for less than $1,000. When in reality, 50,000 leads probably end up costing you like $5,800 in the real world outside of this whole Antoine Campbell thing. So you got to appreciate and understand that, hey, I need to invest in my list, and I need to take it to the next level, and I need to, do what is necessary so that way I can generate more leads. The reason why you guys are not generating more leads because you're not willing to invest more into your prospecting. You're not willing to hire a VA. You're not willing to buy 20,000 leads. You're not willing to get a dollar. You're not willing to get a triple line dollar. You're not willing to do what's necessary to get them ongoing training. You're just playing it safe surface level by doing just enough. And doing just enough, it shows in the results. Damn, man, Antoine, I only get a deal every 6 months. Okay, tell me how your business structured. Well, it's just me. Well, there's your answer right there. So I can charge you $20,000 for that coaching. There's your answer right there. But if you're willing to, I build teams for people all day, every day. That's what I like to do. My wife's like, yo, that's what you should do. So my passion is to help people, put people on, and show them that you can build and train. I got a new client taking on. That's a real big project. He paid real big money. I'm not going to speak on it, but the point is he came to me because he understood that I understood what it takes to get it done. I'm a wizard when it comes to putting employees in position, training them, and then selling on their way. I got celebrity clients. I got millionaire clients. I got a lot of clients who come to us because what we specialize in is ultimately employee acquisitions and lead generation, right? So that's what separates us from the Google space is that, we don't just sell you wholesaling, training, all that bullshit. You can learn that here on YouTube like today. What we specialize in when you're ready to take this to the next level and implement it and can have a peace of mind, then you come see somebody like me. They said the VA training is legit. I attend sessions with my VAs each week. Yes. The beautiful thing about the VA training, you pay $97 a month. We encourage you to come too. You can get information too. You can get dimes dropped on you too. You know, $97 a month. If you do the math, that's less than paying somebody $4 an hour for the time that you're getting the training. So how is this so cheap? Because we're able to leverage and get multiple people on the same call, and it brings down the cost. Now, if it was me and you doing one-on-one, for a one-on-one session with me for 5 days, it's $5,000 for 2 hours a day. So to make things more affordable for people and make it for people to grasp and reach, we come up with these trainings. Because at the end of the day, we sell a service, we sell virtual assistants. And if you can't do the continuous training and developing your VAs, then allow us to do it so you can see your results easier. Imagine if a company hire you and they hire you with no training, they don't tell you how to operate their software, they don't show you how to operate their computer, they don't have no SOPs, they don't have no leadership meetings, they don't have no employee evaluations, and they expect for you to know everything the day you get hired. How would you feel? So that's what it's like to hire a VA with no structure. So that's why people love working with us, because we bring that structure to their business. So making sure that you have a good quality list is definitely important. I want you guys everybody on here, to get you a fresh list today, because you can never have too many leads. Even if you got to hire a VA to help call through the list, get you a fresh list today and start preparing for February. See, the thing about it is we're not thinking a month ahead, 2 months ahead. We're just worrying about today, and that's okay. But if you want to be a legitimate business owner, you have to start forecasting. So this campaign is going to launch, maybe the week of February or a couple days before February, so you can have a strong February. By infusing more leads into your business, you'll ultimately generate more hot leads. That's just the way it works. The more marketing you do, the more prospecting you do. The more prospecting you do, the more business you do. Simple as that. So if you're not consistently prospecting and marketing and trying to generate people to say, yes, I'm interested, you can't tell me, it blows my mind when someone tells me, yeah, I want to do 10 deals a month. Okay, great. Pull your list of 50,000 people and skip trace. What? No, I can't do that. I can start off with 1,000. And I'm like, then I got to bring them back to the expectations of how in the hell could you get 10 deals a month with marketing to 1,000 people? Let's be realistic about this. So sometimes people just talk, dragging shit out their mouth because, no one's correcting them or chastising them in a way that's saying, yo, you full of shit. If you want to get 10 deals a month, this is what you need. If you don't want to get 10 deals a month, let's tone it back and say, how could you get 1 or 2 deals a month with a list of 1,000 people? And maybe them 1,000 people are driving for dollars or foreclosure or free foreclosure. You can do it 2 ways. Maybe you got to go out and door knock. Maybe you got to go out and send ringless voicemails 3 times a day. Like, you have to be aggressive if you want to get to that point. Could you get to 10 deals a month without pulling 50,000 leads? Maybe you get good at getting cash buyers and selling deals, and then tell the whole wholesaling community you can get their deals sold. But then you have to have patience, because now you're babysitting people and coaching and training and educating and mentoring people, because 80% of the deals they bring you are going to be trash. Some of them you can renegotiate and get a lower price, but majority of them ain't going to be good deals worth your time. So now you're going to be agitated when people reach out to you, because you're going to feel like, yo, my time is more valuable than this. Everybody on here watching today, time is more valuable than cold calling. Not saying you shouldn't learn and understand it, but your time is definitely more valuable than cold calling. Because if you can DoorDash, Uber Eats, Instacart, you'll make more than $4 an hour. So you got to get to the point where you got to understand leverage. If I can make $25 an hour and then pay somebody else $4 an hour to do the same work, I would take that $25 an hour to pay that $4 an hour to still accomplish the same goal. You follow me? There's nothing wrong with that. If you ain't got it like that, You gotta bootstrap it. But you need a caller. You need a cold caller. There's no beating around the bush with that because there's no way in hell you can make 500 to 600 consistent calls a day. Because I'm pretty sure you got a lot going on in your life. You got work, children, family, spouse. Everything's so important before this. So you have to put people in position to keep it going for you. That's the secret to generating hot leads. I know you guys are like, yo, what is software? Show me. No. There's no software. Software is just tools. The secret to generating hot leads is a strategy. Let's see what they say. The VA role is cold calling for prospects and vetting them versus a dialer rotates numbers to make contacts, and then you want to vet them correct. Therefore, it would be better. Yes. A VA role is to go through a list of people to see who's interested in selling. And then send that list of people or leads over to you or whoever's going to be running acquisition to get them an offer. Preferably, you want a VA that comes with training already so you can cut down on the learning curve. You can go out here and hire your own VA, but there's a lot of proprietary stuff that we do to recruit the best VAs to give you a possibility to get the best of the best. Because you can go out here and hire a VA, they can be clues about cold calling. And they'll lie to you with a straight face, oh yeah, I cold called before, blah, 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 I did this, I did that. And you have no way to verify that, and they give them $1 and they're not making the calls, and you list the cold calls, they sound god awful. So you want to make sure that when you spend your money on marketing and you spend your money on VAs, that you're getting the best of the best. Now, I let some people go out here and they go hire, fire a VA, up with VA, and a VA from another agency. 4 months later, they come back, to me and saying, yo, I just ready for your VAs. I'm like, well, you probably could have saved a couple $1,000 if you just came straight to us because now you done paid all these people your money. So at the end of the day, you can cut the line by getting your fully trained VA, and then now you focus on acquisitions. Now you're focusing on acquisitions. So making sure that acquisitions is a number one priority to you is all you should be focusing on right now. That's a good question. But yeah. What else I had? And most importantly, the biggest secret ingredient to this whole lead generation thing is follow-up. Most people lack in follow-up, right? Most people lack in follow-up because they're not disciplined. They don't understand the importance of, listen, 80% of all sales that business makes when it comes to, outreach and marketing happens because of follow-up. So I hear people get some, oh man, I called this list 2 times, I called this list 3 times, no one's picking up. Try calling it 15 times. Try calling consistently. Being at the right place at the right time, putting your head down and working and not complaining. See, we're so busy picking up, looking at the other person that we're losing the race ourselves. And what I mean by that is that you got to focus on you and your business and what you got going on and follow up with the leads, even if they're not interested. We do this in all of my businesses. What I'm teaching is not just real estate, it's business principles. If I wrote a list of business principles, it will be the best lead generation expert you can become. Be the best sales conversion person that you can come to your business, and be the best customer support and customer representative that you want to keep your clients happy. Good afternoon, Mama. Hope all is well. She said cutting the learning curve makes it worth the investment. It does. If you're willing to go out to a nightclub and not stand in line that's wrapped around the block because you understand the cut line and you get a bounce an extra $40, he'll let you right in. Why wouldn't you do that with your business? Why wouldn't you go seek a person that already has the lead generation play down pack for you, the setting up your business down pack for you? Why wouldn't you just go see that person and pay what's owed to that person so you can cut the line? So you can get ahead. So you can take 8 months of learning that you would have to figure out in 9 months of figuring out and spending money to understand that, yo, I just need to go ahead and pay this little bread because I don't have time to wait 9 months to figure this shit out. What systems and processes should you have in place before hiring a VA? Before hiring a VA, you definitely probably want to have some scripts, but we have that already for you. Before hiring a VA, you definitely want to have a concept of what your business is and what you do. So you'll know the type of deals you want. And that goes back to the type of marketing list that you want to pull. If you're just wholesaling, then maybe you want to just focus on houses that's at under a certain price point that could be fixed and flip as a fix and flip and wholesale essentially. If you want to buy and hold, maybe you want to focus on houses that doesn't have as much crazy equity in it, but their cash flows really well and it's in good stable condition. So once you figure that part out, then your marketing, pulling your list is going to be important. Like I said, the script is going to be important. And then just, having all of your systems set up. Are you going to be cold calling? Are you going to be SMS blasting? So picking a dialer, picking a text platform. Well, the thing is, we have all that for you. So like if once you ready to commit and say, this is what I need, just book an appointment, give us a call. We put together a package for you and we get you going. So it's no more trying to figure out and think. I think people think that because I'm trying to figure out where I want to go in my business or what I need for my business, that I'm actually doing business. No, you're stalling business because you're not doing business because you're pretending you're busy. Come seek somebody that has all your answers so that you can avoid that, and then you can focus on your business, which is being on the phone with potential customers or potential sellers. And yes, Paul, the fortune is in the follower. In any business, the first thing you do is you go to a sales company, a roofing company, a solar company, a dental office, any customer service based company, is they usually going to put you on the phones to call their old customers, to call their old prospects, to promote a sale. Like right now today, if you need leads, if you want to start your February off right, I definitely suggest that you start off with some leads. We got leads that's absolutely affordable. If you can't afford them, then you should second guess why you're doing this business. Because if you can't get over this hurdle, there's plenty of bigger hurdles ahead of you. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be a party pooper. I'm just being honest. I told a guy years ago, you should quit doing wholesaling and just go play your guitar. Yeah, if you schedule a call tomorrow, I'm most likely tomorrow. I'm on most of the calls tomorrow. I think the other guy who do the calls with me, he's taking off. So I think tomorrow I'll probably be running most of the calls. So if you schedule a call tomorrow, you're definitely getting me on the phones. Just because I like to be really hands-on in my business. At first I had like 15 VAs answering the phones. And what I realized is there's a disconnect when you have too many people doing a lot of stuff for you that you should be learning too and mastering. And ever since I started helping out with talking to my clients and figuring out their needs on one side and working with them and being really personable and giving them my number and letting them text me and call me, I don't really have many complaints when it comes to my VA clients and my real estate clients and my consulting clients because of the personal touch. And if I can go back and do a lot of things over the years, I would double down on the personal touch. Even for you guys. What I mean by personal touch, making yourself available. Don't be hiding behind your employees. Make yourself available. So if you're running acquisitions, be proud that you're running acquisitions. If you're selling deals, be proud that these are the deals you're selling to your clients. Hey man, just give you a call, Versatile. We just got this new 3-bed, 2 baths. I know that's what you like, 3 beds, 2 baths. I wanted to call you first because I didn't want you to see it on somebody's emails or your email and you didn't realize that I didn't call you first. You know how special you just made that person feel? You know how much business now they want to do with you because you put them as a priority? So once you understand how to put people as priorities and stuff, you're going to generate business, you're going to generate leads. And that's the whole biggest thing about real estate is it's a personal business. It's a business where you got to get personal with people. You got to let people know, like, and trust you. Any questions? And guys, one more thing: when you schedule calls, try to stick to your call time too. It's a little annoying when people keep rescheduling calls because what it does is it shows us that you might not be as serious as you think you are because it's not a priority to get on the phone and handle your business. That scares people. Even if, and I'm not just saying this from my business standpoint, I'm just saying this because it's a habit being practiced, right? So even if you're doing acquisitions and you're telling people you're going to call them in 2 days and you never call them, but you call 3 days later, they might not want to do business with you no more because they feel like you're not serious. You're not taking them serious. You're not respecting their time. You're like you got to work on that. Everybody got to work on that. What else? There was something else that slipped my mind. So we're gonna recap it. Um, Having a defined area that you want to target, not just being all over the place. Understand the type of leads you want to focus on. Um, then having a good script. Well, I call it framework, not really a script, because some people want to learn the script word for word, but you just want to have an understanding where you want to take a conversation, which is the framework. And then just being confident and having a professional demeanor when you're making your calls. Sound confident. People like and trust people who they feel like they know. So making sure that you're confident, you're happy, outgoing, and then using your updated list. Right, update your list. Now you don't have to buy a list every week or every day, but going into you gotta understand what's happening right now. Going into February, we're having a really big stimulus into the economy because that's tax season, right? And then we turn around, it's the beginning of the year. Of the courthouse is back open, foreclosures is back on the table. So your biggest lead source is foreclosures for most wholesalers, even for me, which means we lost our biggest lead source for 2 years. So now that's back available to us. You need to do something about it because the big guys, like Paul said, how can I compete with the big fish? You need to be door knocking. If you are in a situation where you can't afford a cold call or you can't afford marketing and this and that, God damn it, go pull your list and even if you don't have a car, ride your bike, catch the bus, catch the Uber, whatever you need to do, hit a zip code neighborhood and just go door knocking. Put you on a polo or put you on a t-shirt or put you on something to look clean and professional, right? And go out there and then say and give your script. Hey, I'm just calling to see if you're open to selling your house. If you're open to a cash offer. I see they got you listed here for your house to go to foreclosure auction, but we're a company to buy houses at cash offers. Whatever that sounds like to you that feel comfortable with you, do that. Right? You're going to be highly effective. You're going to get deals on the contract. Now, when you do that, you got to be able to deliver, and that's when the training comes in. That's when you got to understand who's buying houses for cash, title work issues, who's the best title company to put these houses on escrow with, all of that good stuff. But other than that, man, just do what you got to do. Hit the streets, hit the pavement. Drive for dollars if you can't afford to put a list. You can afford to put $20, $30 in your gas tank. Go to the neighborhood where you see changes happening, gentrification happening, and drive for dollars and put every house that haven't been fixed up or tear down and rebuild on your drive for dollars list, and then just cold call them. Can't afford skip tracing? I'm not ashamed to tell you other places to get skip tracing from. You can go to True Finder and individual skip trace each lead. Now listen, it's going to take you probably 20 times longer, but there's always a trade-off and a compromise in life for things. So if you don't, or refuse to pay for something, then you have to do the long route or the harder work. So there's always a trade-off in things. And once you understand that, then you start to revalue how you look at things. Any questions? We got 12 people in here with some stuff that you need help with. Any questions that you may have, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions before we wrap it up. Middle ground negotiations. What do you need boots on the ground for exactly? What do you need boots on the ground for? Let me know what you need boots on the ground for. Yeah, when I'm talking about door knocking, I mean that's for you and your team. So if you're physically not in another country, if you're physically in another country and not here, then door knocking may be off the table for you because door knocking is a form of acquisition, right? So you don't want to have random people door knocking for you because that becomes trust. If they can door knock and get the deals locked up, then what they need you for? So you gotta understand the power that you place within people. You gotta understand how to leverage people and personnel. So if they're door knocking for you, getting deals locked up, they don't need you. Why would they need you? Right? So boots on the ground should be used for things uh to go run little small errands for you. But we have services and softwares in place that do this stuff and you just pay a transaction flat fee to versus giving up pieces of your deal and equity into your deals and stuff. Or making people feel like they're part of your business in that capacity where, oh, I'm helping you run your business, so you should give me a piece of your business. So you got to be careful about who you appoint and put in position in your business when you can outsource that to a service and they just charge a flat fee in exchange, if you know what I mean. That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. But if you want to virtually drive for dollars, that would be a good alternative if you was virtually. Let me make sure I didn't miss any. Mike said, just another great live. Thanks, Antoine. I'm looking forward to scheduling calls. Say, please, guys, schedule calls so we can figure out how we can help you. At the end of the day, you guys got to get on the right track and get some momentum going so that way you can be talking to these qualified leads and solving problems. I say the next, even for me, man, I had 3 cold callers in the last week for my personal self because the next 12 to 24 months, I'm going super hard. I'm not even talking about my real estate business. I'm here serving you guys, but my real estate business I'm keeping to myself because I'm developing strategies and ways where literally I'm trying to build something and stack some bread up to invest in a lot of other stuff. So my real estate business is going to be pumping. I'm gonna figure out a way to get my 14-year-old involved, like family business. But I was going to document that, but I said, nah, I think I'm going to keep that to myself. I got to have some type of selfish moment for myself, right? When you're always just exposing yourself and stuff, I mean, it's good for people, but I'm gonna serve you guys here on YouTube. That's what I'm trying to say. But this the perfect time. The next 12 to 24 months is like a portal. You ever seen a movie with a portal open? You got a certain time to get to the portal, to get to the other side. This is just like if you're trying to go out here and do these 30, 40, $50,000 deals, right? Because there's a lot of people that's going to need your help. And I might just do an exclusive training talking about how to work these pre-foreclosures, because half the deals I've done so far in my career always tie back to some type of foreclosure, pre-foreclosure type of situation. And the thing about the pre-foreclosure, you make your money in the details. What I mean by the details, making sure the paperwork right, making sure you're working with the right company, making sure that when you get the contract, not only get the contract, get the power of attorney to talk to the finance company and talk to the attorney that's handling the foreclosure and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the finance company like, oh, I don't want to do this no more. We already have an attorney, talk to them. So once you understand these things and you understand how to navigate a transaction and you understand that, there's a certain way now dealing with foreclosures, you should be locking up the deals and the LLCs and stuff that you're using. And I think I'm just going to teach you guys that, because that alone probably can put an extra 6 figures in your business if you're working pre-foreclosure, especially if you're door knocking pre-foreclosure. I had a partner here in DC. We was crushing it. We were putting a little, I ain't gonna tell y'all all that. You gotta pay for that. But we was putting stuff on people's doors, and it was getting them to call us back like in 10 minutes. And they wanted to cooperate and work with us. So literally, there's an abundance of money to be made. Even I stopped marketing in the Maryland area, but even we're launching a campaign in the whole Maryland area, because I know Maryland like the back of my hand. So that's the beautiful thing about the Maryland area. So yeah, any other questions? Yeah, when we come out with the pre-foreclosure training, what you should be doing and what I done, I'll let you guys know. It'll probably be mid-February. Like I said, we're training a recruitment company. This year, we're going to double down on giving value and training people at the highest level. I think there's not enough detailed, actionable training out for people. I think everybody's just talking surface level stuff that they can Google on the internet and not giving you actual components. But before we end this, I want to kind of make sure that everybody know that we're having a sale. If you need leads, reach out to us. Go to co929.com/lead sale. Get you some leads. Sign up for that. And then most importantly, the events that we're currently having. Tomorrow, if you're not registered, you're not in the building, I don't know what you're drinking. I don't know what you're smoking, chewing, injecting, whatever you got going on. I don't know what's going on with you, but you need to be there. We're going to be talking about lead mastery. We're going to be giving you the specifics of what you can do and how you can generate these leads. And in fact, we have a whole package for you tomorrow, lead generation package that you can sign up for if that's something you want to do. Also, we'll be releasing our 2-day virtual wholesaling scaling event, the exclusively tomorrow at the training, where you can pay what you want. So you'll have the ability to pay whatever you want for that 2-day training, whether it's $5, $1, $20, $100. If you really like me, $500. But whatever you can afford and pay, it doesn't matter. Just get in the room. So what you need to do is, for your free lead generation webinar, go to www.co929.com/lead mastery webinar to be able to join the webinar for tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I can't wait for that. We got a lot going on. In fact, I got to finish up my presentation while we are launching this new campaign for me. I'm so excited about the real estate business because we got so much cooking. And as we generate these hot leads, what I may do for you guys, I may record some of the calls and then have my editor bleep a lot of important stuff out. Because at the end of the day, guys, you want to make sure that you're not just putting people information out there. You know what I'm saying? You're not just putting people, so you got to protect people. So yeah, any other questions? Any final questions before we get out of here? Any final questions before we go? Want to make sure that you got your questions answered for today. Remember, come back tomorrow. We'll be back live tomorrow. Um, share this video. If you're not actually subscribed, subscribe to the channel and then click the notification bell so that you can get alerted when I'm actually going live. My live fluctuates. Sometimes I go live at 12, 12:15, 12:30, 1 o'clock. It all depends on what I got going on, honestly. Thank you again. I appreciate you guys. I see you tomorrow afternoon, and then we'll be right back again for the actual webinar. So make sure that you attend. But other than that, book a call with me. Click the link in my bio and book a call with me and the team to figure out how we can help you. If you haven't closed a deal in the last 90 days, book a call. If you haven't generated at least 5 to 10 hot leads so far this month, book a call because we have multiple ways that we can help you and take you to the next level.